St. James Lutheran School, located in Lafayette, Indiana, was founded in 1851. Our school is dedicated to providing a Christ-centered environment, enhancing the spiritual, intellectual, physical, emotional, and social growth of its students and their families.
One of the things that I feel about St. James is they get a good education here, but they also get an education for their heart and an education of not just reading and writing and arithmetic, which is very important, but also we are able to talk to them about what Christ expects of them and why Christ did what he did for us.
With Jesus as the heart of St. James School, its faculty and staff are its lifeblood. They create the culture and set the tone for leading a faith-filled life. St. James Lutheran School is a great place to learn and grow.
Our mission, of course, is spiritual in nature. Our mission is to train children academically, emotionally, physically, but more so spiritually. And our goal is to train our children to be parents themselves someday, because they're going to be ones leading our church, leading our school, leading the community. And our goal is to teach ethics, but this all comes from Christ.
It's important that we get to learn about Christ and that he died for us, and we know that he rose for us, and it's very important to me.
What I learn is about how stuff that Jesus said in the Bible, what they mean, and also why he died and how much God loves us.
We learn how to become closer to God, which can help us through our whole lives, even when we're not in a Christian environment.
We learn how to become closer with God, and we learn how to pray.
I learned that he loves us a lot, and he had to be perfect to save us, and he did that to save us from death.
While good educators are found in many schools, the teachers of St. James offer more than top educational skills and years of experience. They bring spiritually inspired enthusiasm, joy, and dedication to their work because they know they are called by God. The higher calling breathes great energy, life, and vitality into every subject and activity.
Well, I can say just about anybody who has attended here at St. James would agree with me that we are a family here. And as time goes by and you look back, there's a special place in your heart for the school.
With the smaller class sizes, it's very nice because you really do get to know the kids. You get to know what their interests are, what they find important, what they find exciting, and you really get a good relationship with them and get to learn what makes them who they are.
When I was in a young age, we did learn about Christ and we did sing hymns and stuff, but I kind of just went with it then. But now that I've grown, they've sort of taught me more about it, and they've proved that that it's real and that we should love Christ.
It allows us to know the redeeming grace of God. As long as you believe in God, you're able to believe the same things because you know that God is the one who saves us from sin.
I guess I should say it's not what we're doing, it's what God is doing through us.
The St. James School auction intent of catching God's blessings arose because tuition cost had to be increased to meet the rising costs of operating the school. Many feared the cost of a Christian education would become out of reach for some families. God has blessed our school auction over the past few years through generous donations by the people of our community and our local Lutheran churches to raise enough money for tuition assistance.
Our goals is to raise over $50,000. Anything more than that would be fantastic.
The auction is very exciting because you see and hear about other people that have come through this school and are getting involved with it, and they want to share that and they want to help and work with that. And I think it's important for the kids to see what they can do to help the school and to also help kids who might not be able to afford going to St. James. They are excited. They get excited about anything we do that they get to participate in and share with others.
Well, me and my class made a Christian basket, and it had a bunch of devotion books and Christian music and Christian videos and Christian sweatshirt, and we have a basket that someone could bid on.
We've colored thank you notes for the donors that have gave stuff to the auction.
During a class period, we have elective. We colored a bunch of thank you cards to give to people for coming to the auction.
My class and I have been taking pictures of the school for the project we're going to sell at the auction and working really hard to try to make it really nice. It's a great cause for our school because it's really important for everyone to get to become close to God and know Him. So it's a great opportunity to raise money for that.
It costs around $6,000 per child to go here, but we charge around $2,000 per child, and the assistance helps us tremendously with this.
This year's theme, RACE, is an acronym for Rejoicing About Christ Everywhere. It follows the St. James 2011-2012 school year theme, which has been incorporated and emphasized throughout the year. Inspiration for this theme comes from the Bible verse, Hebrews 12, verse 1. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us.
Life is not a piece of cake, but we have to work at it. That Christ is behind us, and going through Him, we can run the race, but we need to run the race with Jesus. The race theme is incorporated, especially in the lower grades. They do this on a weekly basis. They'll talk about rejoicing about Christ everywhere. But this year for Lutheran Schools Week, which was held in March, we had a fundraiser, which is what was called Race to Jerusalem. The children would raise, along with raising money, would walk 6,000 miles as a school from Lafayette straight to Jerusalem, and the kids reached that goal. This is through exercise, through PE, through sporting events. They kept track of their miles, and then we would record that every week. And then the kindergartners on the last day made little race cars, and we had a parade, and they paraded around the gym on that last day of Lutheran Schools Week.
It's important for all of us to know about Christ and for all of us to learn that He died for us.
I learned how important it is to follow God's commandments and be a good person. Well, I'm glad that we have religion class because I know a lot of schools aren't even allowed to talk about God, and I think it's important that we know about God our whole life.
We've been reviewing how Christ died for us in His resurrection, and we learned to be closer to God.
We're allowed to discuss it with our friends, discuss it in class, see how it plays into just our daily lives.
Jesus is the center, Jesus is our guide, and it's very important that kids come from this training right away, and we try to give this basic training of how important Jesus is in our lives every day.
While St. James students are learning what it means to rejoice about Christ everywhere, we as believers have also been called to race in every aspect of our lives, with our families, churches, and communities. Would you please prayerfully consider being a support for the students who attend our Lutheran school? Help us catch God's blessings.